Thomas Detry's What's in the Bag. Since he was our winner this week, pretty straightforward. Callaway staffer, really no surprises here, other than maybe the driver. So he hasn't gone with the latest and greatest, not playing the elite driver. Still has the Paradigm AI or Triple Diamond AI smoke at 9 degrees from last year.
Hmm.
I'm very heartened to see that the Mitsubishi Tensei is getting a lot of run. We've reviewed quite a few bags with this particular shaft in there. The blue is interesting. I've talked about this. It's a very spinny shaft. The blue is you get a lot more spin than maybe the white version of shaft, which he actually plays on a lower wood. But what do you think about him playing last year's driver?
Last year's driver is still pretty hot. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like the video we looked at with my golf spy. I mean, they're gonna squeeze a little bit more forgiveness, a little bit more ball speed out of it. But I mean, when these guys are cranking at 320, 300 through the air, I mean, how much more is he going to squeeze out of that? 305. It's not like he's going from, the Big Berth, the Big Berth. I
Right.
mean, to the elite or something like that. It's just last year's. So yeah, I actually like the AI smoke. I like the look of it, especially since
Yeah.
that camo and all the busy spots of it on the bottom. The triple diamond is a much cleaner look. I mean, it's a sleeker face. So yeah, I mean, clearly he's in a groove with this.
For the 3 wood, the AI smoke, again, triple diamond. I thought the loft was interesting here at 16 and a half degrees. A little bit higher lofted than we've been seeing. I mean, we're
Hmm.
seeing people tend to go with the strong lofted 3 wood or even the mini drivers.
The
I
mini
mean, but you
driver, yeah.
typically don't see people moving outside of 15 degrees at the highest. So for him to be at 16 and a half, very interesting. Again, playing the Tensei 1K blue at 85 grams. What
Looks
do you
like
think
he
about
has
that
the
16 and a half?
I mean, the 16 and a half isn't really that far off. I'm just getting really, really ready to say, um, it really just depends on the weighting and everything now that with all the adjustable weights and where the CG's at. And of course, as we've discussed before, some of these clubs be injected, so some of that hot metal and stuff be up at the front. So what it looks like to me is, yes, it's a higher lofted, like standard loft, but with the weight forward and probably a little bit of injection in the front of the club to give it some more front weight, that's going to keep it low spinning, and that's just going to help him get up in the air and just get his carry yardage up a little bit more. But as far as launch and distance, I don't really think it's taken away from what he was doing off the tee with his 3 wood or going into greens and stuff like that. So yeah, the 16.5 is an interesting ball game, and for it to be
Yeah.
labeled a 3 wood is also wild as well because usually 16.5, 17 degrees, you're just going to go ahead and label that a
Or,
4 wood and call it a day. Yeah,
right. And it could be a mislabeling on Golf WX's side, but I went back and double checked. I was like, no, they have it set as a 3 wood, but we'll roll with it.
yeah.
Um, Again, this is definitely older. You can tell from the wear, this hybrid gets quite a bit of play in his bag. The Callaway Epic from a few seasons ago at 18 degrees, again sticking with the Tensei lineup, but changing to the white with a little bit heavier
That's a
hybrid
heavy
shaft. I
shot.
mean, yeah, that usually you see that it's still in the 80 gram range. Kind of where his 3 wood or 3 or 4 wood shaft is. So
Hmm.
definitely interesting weighting there. I take it that he's a very low spin player, which is why he's going with the blue and the wood and his wood and driver. But
Hmm.
yeah, this interesting weight to say the
Yeah.
least.
Truly. I mean, but it's an 18-degree two hybrid. I mean, that's a 5 wood essentially. So yeah, I mean, he can tee off with that. I know on some of these courses where it's drier, It's a lot of rollout. You know, you can just use that as a tee off club a lot. And the Epic is always, I think the Callaway hybrid really kind of innovated things as far as the look of it. It was one of the first brands that came with a more compact look, more of a iron face look, but really still just a little
Mhm.
bit of pop behind it. Uh, Always have liked the look of the Callaway hybrid.
And hybrids are so, and I think that's probably why a lot of people have gone to just a straight 5 wood to keep the
Yeah,
consistency with their 3 wood. Hybrids can be very finicky. I know when you find one that you like and hit well, for me personally, I've stuck with it. If I find a hybrid that I
yeah,
hit well and I'm very confident with it, I'm more apt to go to that and maybe lose 10 yards here or there versus my 3 wood, just because I know the consistency with it, hitting it straighter. I know a lot of amateurs tend to overturn their hybrids, have a lot of hooks, but I think that's how people set it up towards the ball as well. A lot of amateurs don't let the face just sit on the ground and relax. They prop
yeah,
it up, and so you're already closed at impact. So, yeah, I mean, learning how to hit a good hybrid and having that as a reliable club in your bag, definitely a useful tool. Clearly, he's found one that's worked for several seasons for him. And then in the irons, we couldn't find a photo of the Apex Pro that he's playing on the 4 iron, but similar design language with their MB lineup, which he's playing in the 5 through pitching wedge with the
hmm
Project X 125. Pretty standard iron shaft there, even though we don't see as many Project X iron shafts. I mean, KBS has really taken over. Um, True Temper, even though Project X is a True Temper club, it's not their standard lineup. Any comments on the? I mean, this is just basic bladed irons. Not much to talk about
yeah,
here, unless you want to add something.
yeah. No, I mean, I think it's different that he's playing a 125. I mean, I think
Yeah,
but this does really go into the question of when you get into specs and things like that. Is there ever a time where these guys are checking to see like 1 degree up, 1 degree flat? You know, are they extended? Are they stepped? Are they tipped? Things like that. Those are the things that,
yeah.
again, as a niche golfer and a fan of things like that, I want to be particular. And if
I know, but I wish they would provide more info on this. And
yeah,
I was even really disappointed that with him leading on Saturday, that there wasn't more. Usually when you see somebody leading and they don't have a lot of information on them, these websites will flock to the guy and try to get get with him on the range and get a little more
get a little
info, get some more in,
biography.
yeah, get some more in-depth photos, and we just didn't see that. I was
Yeah,
wondering if it was like a language barrier, but hearing him speak after, clearly I mean, speaks English like perfectly well. So I was just like,
yeah,
damn, why didn't they get more info with him leading pretty handily going into the Saturday night? But yeah, I agree. Like having more info, more defined info. Like I really enjoyed how much info we got about Max Homeless bag beginning of the year. And it's just
agreed.
like a kind of a lazy factor as we get
Yeah,
deeper into the season where there's just not as much details gotten or received about these players. Tipping, like you said, would be nice. Um, so yeah, I mean, we get what we get. And until the day that we get on grounds access, this is what it is. We get on other
true.
people's kind of info.
Yeah, not to
Um,
diminish
Go ahead.
Thomas Detry's iron set, because the MB is definitely still a pure club. It is still a very stout
No doubt.
iron. So we're not diminishing that at all. It's just we'd like to know more.
This is again lack of info, no pictures of the wedges. I just had to go stock, and then of course we didn't even have the exact um, lofts that he used. But these are the Opus wedges for Callaway, latest and greatest from them. He's utilizing the 50, 54, and 58.
Hmm.
Again, would have been nice to know what he's playing his pitching wedge at, but we can assume it was probably 46 degrees, 47 at the worst.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen a 48 pitching wedge in quite some time. But then playing the True Temper Dynamic Gold issue S400, pretty standard stuff there. A little bit heavier in the wedge weight, the shaft weight.
Hmm.
So yeah. So again, Callaway Stafford through and through. Not much deviation from that. Um, and then the Odyssey O Works, number 7 black. I figured this would be one that you would like. This suits your
Yeah.
eye and what you typically like to see from a putter.
Yeah, I mean, I have it on loan right now. Shout out to my guy Grant. Yeah, another Grant ride, not that Grant, a different Grant. But
Okay.
yeah, I had a Odyssey O Works putter almost as soon as they dropped. I had a limited edition blacked out mallet, and I mean the face insert on these O Works putters are just phenomenal. I mean, if I was Thomas Detry, I'd play that as long as I could. Uh, the roll is crazy. I mean, it's one of the truest rolls you'll get. It's one of the first technologies that was really emphasizing getting a top spin instead of that skid to start the putt. It was
Mm-hmm.
getting you to roll over and over to start your line truer and make the ball roll instead of skidding first and then getting into its roll. So yeah, that definitely like the look of the Fang um, and the mallet look. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed my Odyssey O Works putter when I had it.
Yeah. And one little bonus thing, just because it stood out so significantly on the coverage, the green glove. He's playing a G4 golf glove.
I was looking for
Definitely
that
stood out.
logo.
Yeah. I was able to catch like one picture that they had with the G, and I was like, okay, that's the, and then kind of confirmed it looking at the G4 website with the same trim and everything. So definitely a
Hmm.
standout glove. Interesting choice. I mean, you don't see a lot of different color gloves out there. I mean, black and white. Black's rare, white's the
Yeah,
standard. Green is like Charlie Hoffman only.
I was
But
about
I
to say
guess
Charlie
maybe
Hoffman is
just
the
because,
only one.
yeah, maybe just because of the waste management that we're getting this unique look. We'll see what he's playing next week to see if that stands out or if he's this is becoming a trend for him or maybe something that he's been doing and just because we haven't been super aware of him that we hadn't taken note, but definitely something
Very
that on the
true.
coverage stood out for sure.
Looking at this picture though, by the way,
Where's
before we transition, I think it's hilarious that he does again have the elite head covers, but not playing the elite stuff. That is very comical.
right,
They're gonna
absolutely good
emphasize that new
catch.
stuff.
Man, they got to get that club deal paid out, man. Don't mess with the
Hmm.
brand. You get a lot of stuff out of this channel, y'all. A little business knowledge, a little technical golf knowledge, a little BS in here and there. You're in a well-rounded environment. So, uh,
Absolutely.
hit that subscribe button, hit that membership button. We got you covered on all things golf.